version. When you look at the verb version, it says that it is to supply energy or to move with great force. And everybody has their own definition of what love is. It could be a deep affection or an intense feeling. So when you put that all together, that's our topic, the healing power of love.
Great topic. And of course, as before, we always start our show, always give my little shout out. And this actually kind of coincides with the show. Actually, one of my former classmates who just moved down to Lawrenceville, Georgia, Miss Keisha Brown, her and her husband are now on the journey. They're now dealing with the battle themselves. And I'm there for them, and we're going to wish them best of luck. But I know she's a strong person. She always been. So that love hopefully will sustain everything.
Yes, I think we underestimate just how much love plays a vital role in our life. I was reading an article on holistic health by Cynthia Perkins, and she talked about February being one of the months of love for celebration, and the fact that we have set aside this whole day to honor and celebrate the people that we love shows the great magnitude of the role that love plays in our life.
But you know what? I don't think that just one day should be set aside to show your affection or how you love someone. I think if you have the right person, whether man or woman, by your side, every day should be Valentine's Day.
I agree. I totally agree. And we all need love, and we all need to be loved. And I think it's fundamental to our survivorship, no matter what we're going through. We all need that human touch. It's something about the human touch from another person that makes you feel whole. It says that it reduces stress in the hormones. It allows your body to focus on actually healing when you have that love or the people around you that's giving you love. It allows you to take your mind off of what you're going through, and you know that you have the comfort of the people around you, and they love you no matter what you're going through. They have your back. So I think it's important that you give love just as well as you receive it, because we have a lot of takers. But it's important that you give love, because when you think about it, God is love, and God gave his son for us. And how many people that's going to be willing to give up their own child for somebody else? Not many of us. I don't think anybody would do that. But we have to remember where love comes from, and it comes from God. It starts from him, and he gives it to us, and then we share it with the world.
That is so true. And, there's different, I know we've had the topic before about the different levels of intimacy, but there's also different levels of love.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes when you were in love with a person, you can still have love for them, but not necessarily in love with them.
Mm-hmm.
And too often, sometimes we get the two confused. And people really need to realize about love, because love is a very powerful thing. I don't know if they're in, the power to love, or they're just loving the power.
Wow. Okay.
That's a whole nother show right there too. Love it is really strange how often we can fall into it, and oftentimes some people can fall out of it.
It's that saying, it's a thin line between love and hate.
Yes, yes.
It really is. But then when you think about it, were you really in love if you can hate that person? Or say you hate that person? Were you ever really in love with them?
I don't think that they really hate them. I think because of the differences between the two, what they had is what they hate. And I always say the problem is never the problem. The problem is the attitude towards the problem. Mm. Why is it that when we get into an argument, we never attack the problem? Mm-mm. We always attack the person. And then you want to look for answers, and this person should be punished, deemed however necessary that you seem how, and you're running through the house, off with your head. And, it's not really that serious. It's, communication. That's a big part of relationships, marriage, and it's a big part of love.
That's true. In the article, it said, love is more than just a feeling. It is a whole body experience. It has a psychological effect on the body. And it says, have you ever noticed how much better you feel physically and how your mood improves when you receive a hug or some type of affection from someone who you love, when you have expressed love? And when you anticipate an act of love, it tells you how much better you feel when you have that. Love it actually improves your overall health. A lot of people don't realize that it boosts your immune system.
That is so true. I've actually experienced it myself. As many times as I say, as I watched my wife go through what she was going through, it was my loving heart and the love for the kids that kept her going. She loved the fact that somebody was there to love her. And even now, as I sit back and I think about things now, being a single dad, I wondered to myself, who's going to be that person to take care of me? Where will I, if I will find love again? All of those things, they start to play with my head often. Mm-hmm. But that love, that, just waking up, that simple, that touch, that understanding, that feel, that is a great feeling. Mm-hmm. That just knowing someone is there to support you and they're never going to let you fall. That's love.
That is love. And I don't know how some people can, when they're going through something like this, isolate themselves from their family and their friends and try to go through this alone without love. And the survival rate for them is very low because they don't have anybody, to fulfill them. They're trying to do it on their own with things around them, and it's not working. If you think about even single people, when you hear about ladies having a lot of cats, they say, oh, yeah, I'm single, but they have about 10 cats. They have to have something there to share their love with. Even though they don't have a man there, they still have some type of being there that they can share that love with, because as humans, we need that interaction with each other. We need to be able to express it and then receive it as well. So although they say they're single, but you have these 10 cats that you care for, that you love, because you have to have an outlet to let that love flourish.
Yeah. So cats, usually I see a lot of women with the little, I call them pooches. I always see any dog that's below the knee is a pooch. Any dog above the knee is a dog. So I see a lot of the little pocketbook pooches, ladies be carrying the line, the little Maltese, the little teacups, the Shih Tzus, and all of them. So I'm guessing they're carrying those because they're looking for love or they're wanting love. Mm-hmm. So they just, latch on to those animals, those things to love.
And women are, by nature, we're nurturers. So I think, it makes them feel whole, like, they're missing something. So if they can have something there that they're caring for, then it makes it feel like, they have purpose. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And if you think about it, like a lot of reports have been in the news talking about when elderly people pass away and they've been together a long time. Normally that spouse ends up passing away either hours after or a couple of days after that person has passed away, because you never know if that other person's love was actually keeping them alive. You never know until you actually sit and think about it.
Yeah, I've heard that with lovebirds. Actually,
yes.
That if they're separated or if one is taken away, they start singing the love, like the cry songs, because they miss their partner and they eventually pass away. And it's almost the same way. If you've been with somebody for 40 years, 50 years plus, all of our older couples that's out there, and your one partner, the reason that you were living, one of the reasons why you were living is gone, you're going to want to leave too, because it's almost like you have nothing else to live for. Your support is now gone. What else is there for you?
That's true. And we have all been in a place where we have felt like we have wanted to just close off our heart and to never love again. So this brings us to our song of hope. And here is Tell Your Heart to Beat Again.
Shattered like you've never been before. The life you knew in 1,000 pieces on the floor. And words fall short in times like these, when this world drives you to your knees. You think you're never gonna get back to the you they used to be. Tell your heart to beat again. Close your eyes and breathe it in. Let the shadows fall away. Step into the light of grace. Yesterday's a closing door. You don't live there anymore. Say goodbye to where you've been, and tell your heart to beat again. Just let that word wash over you. It's alright now. Love's healing hands have pulled you through. So get back up, take step one. Leave the darkness, feel the sun. 'Cause your story's far from over, and your journey's just begun. Tell your heart to beat again. Close your eyes and breathe it in. Let the shadows fall away. Step into the light of grace. Yesterday's a closing door. You don't live there anymore. Say goodbye to where you've been, and tell your heart to beat again. Let every heart break and every scar be a picture that reminds you who has carried you this far. 'Cause love sees farther than you ever could. In this moment, heaven's working everything for your good. Tell your heart to beat again. Close your eyes and breathe it in. Let the shadows fall away. Step into the light of grace. Yesterday's a closing door. You don't live there anymore. Say goodbye to where you've been, and tell your heart to beat again. Your heart to beat again. Beat again. Oh, so tell your heart to beat again.
Oh yeah. We got the church, and we ain't going nowhere. And praise, 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 praise.
And we are back. I am Lady Rochelle with Rizal Gilmore, aka Biz, and we're talking about the healing power of love.
So, Lady Rochelle, I was thinking during the break, being that I have been tossed back into the dating pool.